The next set of questions, the next 5 questions, are from The Wrestling Show.
What do you think is going to be the next feud that's overdone and poorly booked? One example is Triple H and Randy Orton. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I have no opinion on this matter right now. So, what about you, Bobby?
I think it's going to be Edge and Jericho. Because Edge has already said that when he comes back, he is going to make Jericho pay. So, if you look at it, like, Orton Triple H on Raw is like Edge and Jericho on SmackDown. So I think it's going to be them. I think Edge and Jericho are going to feud for months, and it's going to be poorly booked, and I'm just not really all that excited.
If Edge comes back.
If Edge comes back, which he probably will. He said
he just won't be that great like he was because of that injury.
Well, yeah. Next question! Oh, it's my turn. Do you see any new titles, merging of titles, or any old ones being brought back to the WWE or TNA?
Well, I don't know. I really don't want any titles being brought back. They're just cool the way it is. They've already merged the tag team championships, so...
They might as well merge the women's championships. Gosh, Diva and women's championships? Really? I just think they should make the women's championship multi-branded.
Yeah. That's a question. When did you, as in us, get into wrestling? When I was yay high, when I was about 4 or 5 years old, I could watch TV. I watched primetime wrestling back in the 80s with my late dad. We used to watch WWF's, I'm calling it F, WWF Superstars. And, you know, I just grew up watching the Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man and all that crap.
Oh, yeah.
Back when the PG era was actually good and wasn't crap. Although now, looking back on it, actually, it still doesn't look like crap because I liked it back then.
I got into wrestling 1996
middle school.
Yep, 1996. At the birth of the NWO. I came on when I think it was Hogan, Nash, Hall, Six-Pac, and Show. Big Show. Or the Giant, as they used to call him. And that's when I started, and I watched WCW from 96 to 2001.
Until the darkest day happened in 2001. Gosh, it still hurts us to this day as wrestling fans. Alright,
Next question. Best heel in the WWE, Chris Jericho or Randy Orton?
I hate Jericho, so I'm not going to say anything about him. But yeah, he's a really good heel, but I like Orton better as a heel. That's probably because I like Orton. But I think just overall, Orton's just a better heel. I just like his cold, calculating eyes. And I just like when he kick people, even though half the time it looks real. And it's just, yeah.
I like Jericho better than Orton just because the rattlesnake, the Viper, Randy Orton, you know, I get, you know, the whole Viper thing, and he's a heel, and he's a good heel, but I think Jericho's better. Jericho makes me want to hate him, and that's the best part about it, is that I want to hate Jericho. Orton I want to like. I'm like, hey, I like this guy. He's a talented wrestler, and he does all these things, but Jericho's just like, I'm going to go beat up old men and little Rey Mysterio and steal his mask, and I'm going to pull his pants down in front of all the people and laugh at him. So, I don't know. I see Jericho as kind of a bully, and I love to hate him. Next question!
Worst announcer, Michael Cole or Don West? I like Michael Cole, so I'm going to have to go with Don West! West!
I like Michael Cole and Don West, but if I had to pick a worst... Don West. Sorry, Don. It's a tough call. I like Cole and West, but if I had to pick one, I'd say West, so... Alright, and our last set of questions comes from Killer King 91.
What do you think of the New Age Outlaws? Nice Guy Billy Gunn and the Road Dogg. Nice Guy's an inside joke. And,
it's a nice name.
Let me see. I don't think anything of them. They think they're all bad and everything and all cool. They had that little storyline in TNA when they were trying to get Shawn Michaels and Hunter Hearst Helmsley to come over there, but of course they didn't go involved for that crap. So, I don't know. I don't think their legends were like that. They were cool, but then when they went their separate ways, Billy Gunn had those crappy gimmicks, a.k.a.
Billy and Chuck?
Yes. That's what I was trying to think of. Yeah.
Ugh. That was a dark day for Billy Gunn. That's the day that his career went skyrocketing down to the dumps. And as for the Road Dogg, he's a road agent with TNA right now. So that's good. Right now, Billy Gunn is just desperate to keep his job there. So, next question! What does the future hold for tag team wrestling?
I don't know. I mean, tag teams aren't as pushed as they were. They were pushing last year's SmackDown game, but they're not pushed now. I mean, everyone's doing their little singles thing. I mean, back in the mid to late 90s, yeah, tag teams were cool, man. You had like the New Age Outlaws. They were good back then, and then you had the Hardys, the Dudleys, all of these people. But it's just the tag team division is not as pushed as it once was, in my opinion.
Yeah, they need to really emphasize that the tag team titles are the world championship of tag team wrestling. You have tag teams, the Dudleys, the Hardys. These guys came in to the WWE as a tag team. That is at that point, that was their world championship, and they treated it as such. Look at all the TLC matches we had. Even back with the Hart Foundation, the British Bulldogs, the Legion of Doom. How many of those tag teams based their careers off tag team wrestling? And that's what they lack nowadays. Next question!
Who do you think the best heel outside the WWE is? I'd go with Kurt Angle.
Yeah, Kurt Angle's a pretty good heel. I like Mick Foley's heel because he's just like psychotic. He goes back and forth. One week he's like beating up Jeff Jarrett, and then the next week he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff, we can be on the same page. Mr. Sacco said so." And it's just I don't know. I like Mick Foley as a heel just because he's so everywhere. And some people are like, "Oh, I can't tell if he's a face or he's a heel." Who cares? Face, heel, who cares? He's just funny. I like Mick Foley, so I'm going to give that to Mick Foley. All right. What made WCW's Cruiserweight division successful?
All the Lucha Libres and all the Luchadors and Juvi and all those wrestlers. I used to watch WCW back in the day when before Eddie Guerrero became a big superstar and everything. And it's like watching all those moves that they did. And like Mike Tenay would go on the road and talk about all the luchadors. And like he would go to their homes and stuff. And like, hey, this is like Juvi or this is Rey Mysterio. And this is what they do and blah, blah, blah. He always said that they were always good performers, both inside and outside the ring. But seriously, the WCW Cruiserweight division was freaking awesome. I loved it. It was better than the World Championship because in WCW in those days, like they had better Cruiserweight titles than the World Championship because the only thing about the World Championship was Hogan and whoever else he was wrestling. Sorry, that's what made WCW so crappy in my book. But other than that, it was an awesome program.
I have one question for you. And this parallels the exact same this past question. What made the X Division so good? Innovation. Paul Heyman brought the Mexican and Japanese wrestlers to the United States. They were innovative, they were awesome. Then Ted Turner raped ECW of every single one of their Cruiserweight superstars. So what made the WCW Cruiserweight division so successful? Paul Heyman. Because Paul Heyman went outside the box, got these awesome superstars, and then everyone's like, "Oh, these superstars are awesome." And then, Ted Turner's like, "Dude, I got money. I'm going to get these guys. People like these guys." And the final question.
Should the brand extension in the WWE continue? Yeah, why the heck not? I mean, it's the only kind of competition they have with each other is having those separate brands. And besides, that's how they market the video game, SmackDown vs. Raw. So, yeah. It's featuring ECW. So, yeah, just keep it. I mean, there's no competition for them at the moment. I mean, TNA, but they're not as big competition as they should, but whatever.
I think the brand extension is good just because it gives superstars more of a chance to become heavyweight champions on SmackDown and Raw. ECW, they might as well call it Extreme Florida Championship Wrestling, or Extreme Ohio Valley Wrestling, or Easy Championship Wrestling, as our friend likes to call it. But I love the brand extension. I think it is a great way to keep the competition moving. It's not like it is obviously not doing what WCW did for the WWF, but it is definitely one of the most innovative ways to do things. I mean, you know, having their own separate brands, and yeah, they cross over, but who cares, you know? So, anyway, I think that wraps things up for our Q&A II.
I'm Wrestling White.
And I'm Bobby Black.
Good fight.
And good freaking night.
Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boys from the side.